funny because Mom was like,
hilarious.
there's a blob in the ocean. It's coming towards the East Coast. And it keeps coming towards the East Coast.
I know.
It's so funny to me where
it's so interesting.
It's
so
crazy.
We talked about it already, the blob that keeps popping up on this radar, and it's showing like these massive waves, and then they keep saying, oh, it's a glitch, but like it's happening repetitively. I think now it's like the 5th time that this like massive thing shows on this radar, waves and winds, and it keeps coming from Antarctica. And then it travels up off the west coast of Africa, and then it heads towards the east coast, and all of a sudden, bloop, it disappears from the radar.
It was a fuck up.
Oopsie. And it's like, it's coming from Antarctica, so it's either A, that my theory is... I have 2 theories, actually. One is that there is like an underground like volcano or something that is like popping off, and they can't explain it, so they're just like taking it off the radar. Or like 2, that like, remember when the aliens glitched at the Miami Mall and everyone was like, if you flip the coordinates, it's like they were trying to get to Antarctica. Like maybe they're just having a massive party down in Antarctica and like pushing the vibes down there, and it just can't be stopped.
Oh my god, could you imagine being a galactic and you put in the wrong coordinates and you end up not at any mall in the world, and you end up in the mall in the middle of Miami, and you're like, fuck! And everybody's running, and everyone's freaking out, and you're like, shit, we got them backwards, bro. But of all the places, you end up at the mall in Miami.
Bayside. Next to the Hooters.
Oh my god, I would lose it, but it's like so... I definitely feel like it's definitely a volcano or something, or it's just like... I don't know, the gates of Antarctica are opening up, like
it's very possible. There's this one channeler that I like follow, and she does like the one from Greece.
Yes.
She does pretty good updates, but she's been talking a lot lately about like the ice melting.
Yeah, because that could cause things too, like a volcano.
Right.
Or it's both.
Because if it's melting and the ice is falling into...
But what if it's causing it is the volcano? Like what you're saying. What if it's a volcano that's causing the ice to melt?
That's very possible.
Because remember that person was talking about the volcano that rains gold?
Yes.
So...
Yeah, like what if this shit is melting and there's just like massive blocks of ice plowing into the ocean, causing these ripples of waves.
Like there has to be some, and then that with the poles shifting too, because it's coming from the south, South Antarctica. You know, it goes around the whole plane of Earth. We're not going to call it a globe, but it goes. Yes, we know it's an ice wall, goes all the way around, but it's coming from the south and it's moving north. So does it have something to do with the pole changes too? I don't know. It's just like there's just so many what ifs.
That's what's so interesting is that like Earth is due for the pole shift.
Yeah,
and so is the sun. And my feeling is, what if they flip at the same time? And then my other question is, do all planets have pole shifts? And if so, like, is there like a cosmic level where like all the poles are like everything is realigning? It like just makes me think of Gene Key 2 all the time, like the magnetic monopole, where like everything is flipping back into its proper alignment.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's known that Earth, the poles change, and it's happened, obviously, throughout history and whatever, but, I mean, I definitely feel like we're close, and with going into we're in a solar maximum, the peak I feel, is 2025, but it's interesting, because, that esoteric astrologer, talks about it, but this guy wrote this whole book about how 2025 is the year that the hierarchy or the galactics or the masters are planning to show themselves to the world. So I don't know. Just really strange. Like it was years ago.
Did you see that the Vatican? Did you see
about
that?
the blue beam thing? Yeah, they're getting ready for like someone.
So FYI, in 3 days, I believe it's May 17th, the Vatican was going to be putting out a guide for interacting with higher dimensional beings, basically. It was a guide as to, they said, you could be communicating and seeing angelics, There was another word that they used, and then they said, or Christ himself. And I was like, okay, so are we blue beaming this bitch, or is what's happening?
Also,
I can't wait to read the guide. That's going to be our next episode. I'm reading that.